Hey everyone, Temporal here, and for this session we are reviewing a Plat Diva. If you guys are enjoying the content, please do like and subscribe, as that really does help me out. Or if you are looking to get coaching yourself, you can join my Discord through the description below, see what the rates look like, join the community, all sorts of cool stuff like that.
4, 3, 2, 1. Attackers incoming.
Running some Diva Zarya.
Defense matrix activated.
It says the stream is offline. Does it? You're clearly talking and I see you. We've got 6 viewers. Looks like we're fine. Okay, so we've got a rough tank line with Zarya Diva here. You guys are going to have to double off angle a bit, but hopefully you get your timing right. You don't have micro for this push. You know what? Let's rewind. I got distracted.
Ready for back. 5, 4, 3, 2,
Winky face.
1. Attackers incoming. Defend objective A.
Okay, I don't really like those micro missiles. You were never really going to hit that ball. That wasn't really a thing that we expected to happen. Like, this is just effectively wasting micro missiles.
Defense matrix activated.
Now you don't have micro missiles for actually pushing something. You're spending matrix, but at least you don't spend all of it. Please don't spend all of it. Please don't spend all of it. No, 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 no. You don't have micro missiles and you have almost no defense matrix. Why would you go here? Why would you go here? And you canceled this early when what you want to do was you did want to have your defense matrix available, though you got the bubble so you don't need it, and you wanted to shift a little further to actually boop them off, because you want to take this high ground from them. You can't beat the 3 of these guys in a fight. You need to boop them off. Using your micro. No, no, don't chase him on. Booping him off was fine. Don't chase him down. No, 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 no.
Time to raise my APM.
No, 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 no. This was like a little baby boop, a little baby shift that you immediately canceled after you knocked him, and then you continued to work from here. You can close the angle if you don't like the McCree. You can come over here to get heals, and then you can come back and threaten from over here with micro missile, and you have much better positioning. Okay, that's what you wanted to look at there. Yeah, I see the quality's giving it a little trouble. It should sort itself out. There's not anything that should be going on. There's literally no one else in the office. It's possible it's the work outside. They are doing some work on, they're doing some gas line work outside, and maybe they're bumping wires for cable, etc. Sorry if so. Oh, back to our Diva.
Defense matrix activated. Routing tower to forward barrier. Time to raise my APM.
Okay. Don't spend matrix here. You don't have matrix to spend. What are you doing? Your team doesn't need this. Just wait behind cover.
Jump up here.
Behind you. Activating the barrier.
Okay. They're actually pretty soft right now. Funny, blah. Funny. Well. Besides, I'd have to turn to open the blinds, and I can't look at the explosion, so we have a bit of a problem. Yeah, exactly. What was I saying here? So we need to make sure our team is with us. You haven't done any sort of check to see, hey, is my team actually ready? Because these guys are pretty soft right now. They're behind on health. You can really take advantage of that. This would be a great push window, and it actually would be a pretty good push window. Your team is ready, so I hope you push. Even though you're not perfect, even though you're not at perfect health, this team is softer right now. So I would very much like you to go in here and aggressively take this space for your team. I don't want you to just charge in here. I want you to go up here with your boosters where you can be like, hey, I threatened the Pharah. I do a lot of damage to the Pharah. We eliminate the Pharah. Even if we don't, you being here opens up a ton of space for your team to push forward here. That's what we want. I suppose that's true. Again, when you go in like this, this is not how we push things. We don't push things like this. We don't need to get here ahead of our team, and that's effectively what we've done. It's not good. Oh, 1 second. 1 second. Again, we don't want to charge directly in like this. That is not our friend. We're making ourselves get in more ahead of our team faster than our team. That is not to our benefit. We want to use our boosters to take positions like this, to knock people in, to shuffle people back in, to take angles, to close other people's angles. From up here, we can shoot from a different angle. We do damage into their head. We can cover them with defense matrix. We can cover our team with defense matrix. It does all sorts of cool stuff. This has just made us go in faster, which is like asking, of course now they're going to break our mech. 1, 2? Okay. No, I'm wired, guys.
Heroes never die.
Yep. This is fine. You can play from here. This fight is probably over, but this is fine. Okay. On your next shift, I hope you go back to the right back over here. That's what I would like to see happen, but we'll see.
Routing power to forward fair high. I'm ready to initiate self-destruct sequence.
You're going to be okay.
That micro missiles didn't do anything good for you. You want your micro missiles available for when you dive stuff. You want your micro missiles available as extra damage. You want micro missiles available sometimes as part of poke, but you don't want to just waste it on like space clearing like that. Okay.
Behind you.
Nerf this.
Why would you not let yourself fall up here where you're safer? Why would you fall? It hurts. It hurts.
Mecha at high.
At least you tried to land it on the corner.
I'm back in the fight.
No! We do not shift at the entire enemy core like this. That is not a thing. Not a thing. It's too many people that can shoot at you. It gets you there before your team. It gets you there when your team hasn't yet rounded the corner. Look, your McCree isn't really helping yet because you've shifted ahead. Your McCree can't see the enemies to shoot at, and you've been like, no, I want to get here early, etc., and all the enemies are like, oh, well, if you're here before everyone, sure, we'll shoot at you. You don't want that. You also desperately need to be at a different angle than your team. If you're up here, and the McCree goes, I'm going to shoot at you, he's not shooting at your Sigma core. If he's shooting at your Sigma core, he's not shooting at you. You have damage available to do to his head. You can micro missiles from here with stable micro missiles. You can defense matrix over and reach. You can very carefully see what you want to defense matrix from here. This is so much better. You can transition from here to here with your next set of boosters if you like, and do more of the same. Like, please, please, please take the high ground. You are not Reinhardt. D.Va is not Reinhardt. Go take the off angle. Stop here. This is where you stop. I can live with it. It's a shame you didn't have those missiles for the ball the whole time there. You can't just sit in the middle of the fight like this. That's not what you do. You can sit over here. I understand you wanted to fall, you wanted to do damage, etc. But as soon as it was clear you weren't getting them, you can work at this angle. You can work from here. You can do this. Like, play from here. Don't play from the middle. Getting kills as baby diva is hilarious. I don't know why. She's pretty vicious, but if McCree sees diva feed, he'll call diva out for it. She's quite scary if you're an Anna. Tiny little hitbox. Yeah, she can be. You're just so in the middle of the fight when you don't need to be. Like, again, this was great. This was great. You could protect your soldier from here. Do you see how much your defense matrix can protect your soldier from here? How easy it is to be like, my soldier is safe. Nothing can get him. Or I can pick whichever target I want to shoot at. And if I want to shoot at the McCree, I'm going to be drilling him in the head, and it's going to do a bajillion million damage. Instead, with our 170 health, only 170 health, we are going to drop into the fight. Why? And now our defense matrix is only covering the McCree. It's not also covering the Lucio. So our defense matrix is getting less value. Yeah, the poor Anna is pleading with them to stop feeding. Except, yeah.
60 seconds remaining.
Diva re-engaging.
My ultimate is fully charged. Get in there.
Barrier won't hold together.
Fine. Good micro. Nicely done.
Suiting up high.
Surrender to my will.
Your Moira's here. Your Sigma's here. Your McCree's here. They cannot see the people you're fighting. They can't. This is a 2v3. You guys got 3 eliminations. You went up, you ate the grab, you got the double high noon, it was great, and then you go up here and go, I'm going to try to give it all back. I'm going to try to come up here, fight you with just coalescence support where none of my team can actually help you, and give you guys a chance to break me out of my mech and get back into this fight. You cannot just shift directly into fights like this. Your shift to enter fights is you shift to go take an angle that is actually hard for them to punish. You don't commit to fights. Diva is not a spear that goes boom and we're pushing. You know, like Reinhardt's have this charge issue more frequently than Diva do, but you have this is how I take fights issue, and it's not what you do. You go here. You go here. I wouldn't hate it if you went here. Like, I don't love it because the rotation's too slow, but like, you don't go, oh, it's time to push and I shift in. That makes you faster than your team. It spends a cooldown that you don't want to spend, and like, please no. Please. Okay, I'm beating a dead horse, or maybe a dead mech at this point.
30 seconds.
Time to raise my DVA. Shut down.
You seem in need of aid. This will
Is
restore
this
you.
easy mode? Is this easy mode? Is
10
this
seconds.
time running out? Everyone attack! Routing power forward barrier.
It's purple, you can fight it. I don't love how you spent your cooldowns, but you're in it now.
Overtime.
Excuse me? You were low on Matrix, weren't you? I'll forgive it, I guess.
Overtime.
You have micro, you have full matrix, you have full matrix, you have full matrix. This is early. He can't eliminate anyone yet. And you just got shift back. Okay, you'd have had a tough time actually blocking that. Okay.
Easy mode. Is this easy mode? Winky. LOL.
It's not bad, Plat. That's not bad.
And I will
Boosters engaged.
Down to Dire. That's all.
Good. You win that at that range. Good stuff. Careful. Good. Good. And you maintained the high ground.
I'm gonna shoot you down.
I understand why you left. You were scared about the pharmacy. I'm not convinced you needed to, but she had a pocket this time.
Hi, comes up. LOL.
Step right up.
Routing tower to forward
Okay,
area.
that's fine with me.
Boosters engaged.
Did you see the thingamadoohickey back here? Okay, it left the ball. Cool. Okay, this is fine. Now you're going to transition to the other high ground. Yeah! Yeah! Fine with me if you're here. Fine with me if you're here. It's even fine with me if you drop and play from here. I give you the okay. All of those are better, and I don't know why you understand this on this point when you didn't on first. No, you were so close! You were so close! Up here. You hit lots of easy headshots. You can throw your matrix. You can do what you need to. You have a bigger angle on them to try to get matrix over more people. It's all sorts of good. And if you go, hey, I don't do enough damage from up here. I'm too far. My matrix doesn't reach, etc. You can go here and do the same thing. And it's still way better than you being here. Here, you're going to block out less people. You're going to have the same angle as your team. That makes both you and your team less threatening. Angles are amazing because they make the opposing McCree go, I shoot here. I don't see the D.Va shooting at me. I aim at the D.Va. I don't see the Sigma shooting at me. Shoot, it's hard to dodge a person that I'm not looking at because it changes my strafe direction. And also I can't see them lining up shots to time dodges, etc. So that's what we want to. That's what we want to do. We want our angles.
Time to raise my APM.
She was there by accident. Yeah, I know.
Get through this.
You got booped. That's fine.
This.
Nice. Little double fake with the self-destruct. Well, single fake, I suppose.
Better get out of the way.
Surrender to my will.
Okay. Oh, headshots! Headshots galore, even when he's pocketed. Look how easy this is. Look how much pressure you're putting him under when he's got two supports with him. He's scared. Now you have to leave, but he was scared for a moment there, even with two supports. Even when you had, only 60% health.
Routing power to forward shield.
Hey, we ended on high ground.
Time to raise my APM.
Lucio can see you, Zarya can see you, Mercy can see you, Pharah can see you. Your turret's back here. Your Sigma's only sort of in the fight. This isn't as bad as last time, but again, this booster didn't really accomplish anything. A booster up to here would have accomplished more. A booster up to here would have accomplished more. A booster, up over here where you go, hey, I can, punish them, any of them when they come out here. I can make Pharah lose 40% of her life before she gets any air, etc. I can shoot from over here. I can make the Zarya very uncomfortable if he's thinking, oh, I'd like to do a grab, etc. Yes, I know he doesn't have grab. All those things. This would be so much better with your shifts. Okay. Rather than be in the Zarya's face, which is not a place for D.Va, why don't you go up here, since you have shift, since you got booped up here, and didn't use your own shift? It's again a little early on the Matrix. You don't need to Matrix high noons instantly because they're charging up their skull and they're not going to pull it until they've got at least a skull charge. So you want to actually preserve your Matrix and delay a little bit. You can't delay the full amount of time it takes to charge a skull because some people will be missing health and they might consider pulling it early there. But you do want to delay a little bit.
Time to raise my APM.
Hmm.
10 seconds.
There's no way I'm losing. Attack. Bailing it.
Just reset. I mean, you can't reset, so go touch cart. But like, this just hurts.
Round 1 complete.
What?
Bailing out.
4 seconds left. No one's touched it. I mean, it makes sense that they stop you with the little amount of health that you have, but... Oh, you get booped up. Okay. You're trying reasonably hard.
Round 1 complete.
I guess that's far enough to not be counting. I mean, I know it's far enough to not be counting. I just still prefer the old games contest distance. They've made that small, but yeah, that's far enough away to not be counting. That's not like, oh my god, they were cheated or anything. Okay.
Man, I'm not paying you for your
Initiating match.
Get moving.
Okay, so we have to change how these shifts are used. We don't shift into to charge the enemy core like that. We shift to go take spots. We shift to go take angles, to go take high ground. We go, hey, I shift up to go take the high ground. I shift to, be able to go push someone away, to zone out a hit scan on high ground. I shift to get back from my high ground to protect a support that a tracer showed up on, etc. Shifts are to take space, not to commit in, and we take space differently than Reinhardt. We don't take space by shifting into the front of the enemy core. We take space by taking away one of their edges, taking the edges of map control to make them uncomfortable. Yeah.
Attackers incoming in 30 seconds.
I can't wait to get into the fight. No. Let's shoot for a new high score.
Hello? Anyone out there? Don't worry, my friends.
5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Attackers incoming.
Defense matrix
Defend
activated.
objective A.
That's fine.
Now we're talking.
No. No. Why did you cancel that early? Why did you cancel those boosters early? Ride those boosters up to here. This is still where you want to be. You might go, hey, I don't want it and drop, but this is still roughly where you want to be. You want to be here so that they have to go to the effort of extracting you from there, of making you leave before they can push through here. Because if they don't make you leave there and they just try to push into here, you're going to go, ha, I have free access. I can shoot you guys in the head. I can DM over a bunch of you all at once. I can pick which target I want. I have free access to your backline, etc. You want to be up here. Or you can be like, oh, your ball's trying to come up to mess with my soldier. Nope, I'm going to boop him out, etc. Like, this is where you want to be. It is. It is.
Get into position.
Mm-hmm.
APM never got.
There's still a fair on the other team. That makes the high ground even better. You're closer to her for doing damage.
Get through this.
This can work. This is an off angle that you're sort of babysitting. Okay, uh-huh. Oh! It's the high ground, guys. But don't do this. Your team isn't really pushing in this. So no, don't drop. Don't drop. Just go, hey, I'm gonna back up to here. Hey, I'm gonna back up to here. Hey, I'm gonna back up to here. Like, you don't need to drop. You can just chill back here where they don't have a sight line on you. Now you're gonna have to spend boosters to retake high ground.
This will heal you.
We spent boosters to do 1 pellet of damage to those guys, I'll have you know.
Routing power to forward shield.
And if you'd been here where I'd wanted you the whole time, this ball would fall down and you would laugh because you do way more well, you do meaningfully more damage to him at close range than he does to you. Instead, you have to booster up here. You get shot in the back by McCree twice. It's fine. Why are you dropping? You just got a sim barrier that you can use to block out the damage, to strafe with, to go, hey, I'm only fighting this plus the mercy. You could have totally stayed here. If you're contesting high ground in D.Va and the duel is unfavorable, or you're 1v2 like second point on Volskaya, what should you do? I've tried doing this on defense, but had to drop and give it up. Yeah, that'll happen. You still want them to go to the effort of extracting you. You don't want to sacrifice your mech. You don't want to, go down trying to hold the ground, etc. But you being here means they have to spend time and resources extracting you, and then you retreat to the team. And that's worthwhile. That is good. That's the thing you want them to do. So if you're like, hey, I'm healed up, I have what I need, I'm going to go take this, I'm going to be here. You pushed me down, that's annoying. Okay, I'm back with the team. You guys have some map superiority on us now. And if I can get it back, if I can get health back, boosters back, etc., maybe I'll go try to boop you off again. Maybe I'll try to challenge you, sort of. Maybe it's your 1v2, but now I've got my Ana or my Mercy sort of paying attention to me. And if they drop off or if I'm losing, I'll just drop back down again. Like, having this is enough of a big deal. This isn't as powerful as some points, like we've talked about Blue Box and Gibraltar, we've talked about Siege Tank on Blizzard World. Those are both way more powerful than this spot, but this is an important spot. Like, this is something. This isn't nothing, and if they don't extract you and just try to run right on through and take down your team, they better have some ultimates to do it with, because otherwise you are just going to go, well, I have access to whoever I want, I get to shoot you in the head, I can defense matrix a bunch of you at a time, and if you run right past, I can just drop behind if I want and eliminate your supports from behind, etc. Like, all sorts of stuff. Or I can go, hey, you guys are pushing in, I don't like it, let me use my shift and actually do the spearhead maneuver where I just go, hey, I don't like your push, it's coming in too hot, too fast, etc. Let me drop and do a quick shift to boop you guys away and then finish back up here, etc. And I've just done a little boop to try and delay, break, whatever, your push a little bit so that my team that's better than yours at poke can continue to poke at you a little longer. Like, there's all sorts of cool stuff you can do with it, but if you're on defense and they're better than you at having high ground, that's fine. It's still your job. It's sort of like Winston into Widow. You contest it as best you can. You accept that, hey, maybe you're not going to be able to take them down. Maybe you're not going to be able to win the high ground, but you're doing what you can to deny them from it. When you get a chance, you go again. Between fights, you hold it, and if they send multiple people up here to do it, that's fine. You're doing it. You just try to lose slowly. Hopefully your team is providing value elsewhere. Okay. Bada boom? I didn't say bada boom. That's not in my... That's not terminology I regularly use. Not that I have an issue with it, it's just, it's not in my favored words. No problem, beat. Fine. Ah.
Routing power forward barrier.
Okay.
My ultimate is almost ready.
Objective lost. Stop the payload.
Okay.
APM 좀 올려볼까?
When do I not take high ground? You take high ground a lot. There's some arguments to be had for if the high ground is like here where you can't keep it, and what I mean by you can't keep it is your damage fall off is enough that it's painful. This is less true here because you have the half high ground, but can be more true on like Dorado second where you go, maybe I don't want to keep this, etc., where it's a little more annoying. Or you could be situations of, hey, the entire enemy team is like rotating as a brawl comp, etc., and they're like taking high ground with a brawl comp. Yeah, you're not going to go up and fight that as D.Va, etc., but that's more about not challenging them head on. That's you continue to take angles, etc. High ground, you should very, very regularly be on high ground as D.Va, at least to start the fight, at least make them extract you, etc. Don't sacrifice your mech, but let's make them extract you. Yeah, when there's higher grounds. um, Or I guess when you're going for a set self-destruct and you know exactly where to throw it from and it's not high ground. I'm kidding. We can come up with others, but it's default to the high ground, really do. Don't need the matrix there, don't need the matrix there. Don't need to waste. That's just wasting. This is poke, total waste. You want this available for when you're committing on people. It is very hard to win duels against people without it. And you need it because you're going, hey, I'm contesting the McCree, I'm contesting the Hanzo. And again, your team might not have the high ground. You might be pushing into a team that has a Widow on high ground, that has an Ashe on high ground, that has a Hanzo on high ground, and you might go, I'm not going to pre-jump up to high ground. I'm going to go push them when my team is ready to push, or I'm going to push them when I can get Harmony Orb support, or, you know, support from my low ground soldier, or something to push with you. So, you know, you're not just going to mindlessly push it. You're going to go, okay, maybe I'm on the low ground. I try to path to get as close as I can to it, and then I shift up to the high ground to challenge at the right time. But hey, we're getting awfully theoretical. That's not what's happening in this match. Okay. Are we going to boost through this thing and knock this Reinhardt into our team? That could be fun. That works too. Or are we going to hold boost to deny the res? That is not a good use of micro missiles.
Time to raise my APM.
Not sure what that defense matrix was for, and that was more than the minimum amount of time to hold that you activate it when you activate it, so really not sure what it's for.
Get through this. Nerf this.
Okay.
Routing power to forward barrier. Defense matrix activated.
An expedient solution.
I'm not sure why you took the extra steps forward here.
Time
That
to
just
raise
made
my
it more
APM.
likely that you were going to have to burn defense matrix.
Routing power to forward shield. Get through this.
Okay. Okay. Kind of generic micro missile spam there. I'd really like your micro missiles to be used with a bit more of a purpose. What was that matrix? I've been too nice on your matrix. McCree can't see you. And again, you're holding this longer than the minimum amount of time. This was not a you flicked it active and then, oh shoot, I flicked it active reactively. This is you're continuing to make the decision to matrix here for nothing. Yee! Ugh. This accomplished nothing other than blocking one sideways shot from McCree that wasn't even into you. This whole matrix. Best part of D.Va's kit. Okay. Mm-hmm. 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 So you're pressing the micro missile button, but I think the button you meant to press was shift to go up here to be annoying. I think that's the button you meant to press. It was a misclick. He can't shatter you when you're on top of the awning. And when you're on top of the awning, you go, hey, I'm going to do a lot of damage to you when he walks up here to shoot your people. You're like, or to swing at your people. You go, brrr, and you drill them with your weapons and you pop your micro missiles. And if other people come up to try to hurt your guys, you can throw your defense matrix and have it cover your Reinhardt and like that. And you're effectively protecting 3 people. It's great. It's great. But hey. Instead, we're stunned. Yeah, the better you get, Kohai, the better you get, you are going to discover that you are always on your own for your own natural cover. Reinhardt's shield is his own personal thing that if you happen to catch a ride when he's going somewhere, great, but it is not for you. It's just, hey, that happened to work out. In organized play, you're going to obviously schedule that ride a bit more. But high ground is great for natural cover because with high ground, you can almost always, if there's enemies there, close the angle just by backing up and crouching, etc. So high ground is better than a Rhine shield. If you don't like the fight, you just close the angle. Excuse me. If you're taking too much damage, you close the angle and then look back and hopefully a support can get you while they can't get you, etc. You can drop. You can always go, hey, I don't like this high ground. You can drop, etc. Okay. Why do you think you can challenge this ball, and why do you think challenging this Valked ball is a good idea? Did you just really not want the cart to move? Like, that was weird target selection. You could have stayed on the Rhine. Just get behind the Rhine. So what we're going to do here is we're again going to talk about probably angles. I'm good with this. There's another target back here that we can be shooting at. Why aren't we? Why are we leaving? Do we think, hey, I want to stop the cart? If your thought is, hey, I want to stop the cart, that's fine. I don't love this. I don't. It's okay. Yeah, you're deciding you want to stop the cart. I can live with that. And now you turn and you're shooting the Rhine in the back. Preferable. Why? Why are we defense matrix? Why are we even fighting the Bob? Like, our May very clearly put that wall up so we didn't have to worry about the Bob. Now you can spend defense matrix, but you're down a third of it. You can defense matrix, you could micro missile if you had it.
I'm ready to initiate self-destruct sequence.
Again, that's not a great micro use. Yeah, so this is fine. He's sort of re-challenging a fight that he can't actually win to just sort of make it annoying as long as he's not throwing his mech away. Because his team is going to lose if these guys keep this, so he's just going to sort of, I hope, repeatedly sort of re-challenge it, etc. Even though it's a losing battle. Perfect. I'm totally fine with this. I'm less happy with that. Like, we spent self-destruct when we could have been making sure that High Noon didn't do that, but okay. Yeah, so like other than the self-destruct, blah, 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 this sequence was valid. We boosted 3 different times in a row into a situation where there was 2 hit scan and a mercy pocket, and we know that we can't win that fight on our own, but we're like, hey, let me distract you for 2 seconds, let me drop, let me get healed back up a little bit, because I'm not taking a ton of damage, let me go back up with my next boosters, use some matrix, distract you a bit, drop, etc. Let me go back up with my third. Like, that was the best diva play that we've seen from this player. So that was good stuff. And this player is not, terrible. This player is a Plat player, and this does look like Plat diva play. I'm just saying, like, this was good. More of this, please.
Don't mess with me. Stop the payload. Ouch. Let's get you back out there.
Good. Better matrix usage. Leave for the mega. You're gonna take the elevator? Fine. Good.
Surrender to my will.
30 seconds remaining.
So I want to go back and see those lost boosters. Make sure I understand why you're here.
Surrender to my
Why do we think we should push into this? There's a Reinhardt to your left that you do know is there. There's a Lucio and there's a McCree. Why do we think that this is a good idea? This is your habit breaking through of like, I just charge into their core, etc. No, you do not. You do not just charge into their core. If you're charging on someone that is on the edge of the core that you're fighting, if you're charging a hit scan that's here, you're charging 3 hits, 2 hit scans in support that's here, sure, I can live with that. They're using cover on the way up, but like, we don't just charge their core. It leaves us in a bad position, and unlike the high ground, we can't just drop out to sort of, get ourselves some semblance of safety. We're stuck here if they want to fight us. Yes, I'm aware you have the coalescence, but hey, they have a beat and a shatter. That was really being mean. I'd have pointed out that if you were up here, they would have been very contained. They would have been like, how do we even walk out of this? There's a diva above this. If we walk out of this to shield this way, we're going to take a ton of damage. If we walk out of this awkwardly holding our shield up, we're going to take a ton of damage. But hey. It's fine. Good. I'm glad you didn't hold that till overtime. Nice little swing to it, sure.
Time to raise my APM.
Okay. Mm-hmm. Okay, this is going to be a little tough, but if you enable, you don't have any matrix left. Forget I said anything. Mm-hmm.
Heroes never die.
Okay. There's other things we could talk about. We could talk about your matrix use. I did go pretty light on that. It has plenty of room for improvement. I just went light on it. We could talk about your target selection because you dive after some weird targets sometimes. We could talk about how to make your self-destructs better, but you know what we have to talk about. What we have to talk about is Diva is about taking those off angles, about challenging that high ground, about having that spot where she's above, to the side, etc., where she can put in good damage. She can cover a lot of people with her matrix. matrix. She has a good purview of the battlefield and where she wants to deploy to. So you want to sort of pre-boost up to the high ground, and then you can go. I can drop from the high ground. I can boost from the high ground. I can deploy my matrix where I need to. I can deploy damage on them as they go by. She wants to have that angle on the high ground that she can work from. And I'm going to say that's one thing, but the other thing is you just need to break this habit of just shifting forward into the enemies. Like, you need to just break this habit of I am shifting forward into the enemy core. You can shift up to go knock back a hit scan, to go knock back a group of hit scan, etc. that are somewhere, but you can't just shift to push like you're doing straight on. Like, that is not D.Va's role. If you want to do that, you go back to spawn, you press H, and you pick Reinhardt. And you don't do it with charge. You do it by walking forward with your shield and then swinging your hammer. So, like, if that's what you want to do, you play Reinhardt. Otherwise, you have to play at the edges of the fight, play at the corners, play at the off angles, do your work from there. Your shift is a mobility tool. Understand your shift is a mobility tool. So if you go, hey, I'm going to use my mobility tool to go directly into a fight, you're probably going to leave your team behind, unless it's part of a coordinated dive. And if it's part of a coordinated dive, you're still frequently going to be coming in from an angle, not from straight line, etc. I hope that helps. The other thing I will say, since those are tied closely together enough, is I do want you to be more careful with your micro missile usage. You use it pretty willy-nilly. You can use it as shield pressure, as poke pressure, etc. if you're pretty sure that the opponents can't push you until you have it back, but you really do want to have it available when you're diving a target, when you're trying to finish off a target, when you're, trying to push back someone on high ground when you're battling for that, etc. Because it's really hard for you to get enough lethal damage, really put pressure on people, etc. without it. So I would say, hey, let's try to be more conscientious about how we're using that, less spammy about it, more this is for a purpose. You send a lot of micro missiles where you get like a second of micro missile value, and then you're waving it all around, etc., looking for a new target. And sometimes that's going to happen because you're like diving a target and the target immediately leaves, and that's fine. But you're doing that too much in what we'd call the poke phase. Okay, if there's questions, throw them up in chat now. Otherwise, please, or regardless, please do like and subscribe if you're enjoying the content. That really does help me out. Or if you are looking to get coaching yourself, you can join my Discord through the description below, see what my rates look like, see if we've got any sort of events or promos going on, cool stuff like that. Okay. Yes, their team did fail the rest of the team fight in that case. But I don't mind. We're about what did the D.Va do mostly wrong, and in that case, right. And we say mostly wrong because we're intentionally being critical. We're not looking to puff up the D.Va. That doesn't do any good. We're looking to show them things that they did wrong so that they can pick 2 or 3 things to improve on. Okay. Feeding the need not to waste coal. Oof, that cart really squished her. No questions. Thanks for the review. Yeah, no problem. Glad it helped out. Okay. And yeah, so that's what we've got here. Thanks, guys. Temporal out.